Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Anissa, and I am a nutrition volunteer with Be Complete. Today, I'll be interviewing Natalia, who is currently a KBDI intern. So, a little bit about me. I live in Queens, New York. I'm a recent graduate of Queens College in New York, and that's where I completed my bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics. One of my goals is to become a registered dietitian and just really pursue that goal. So today I will be speaking with Natalia, who will be helping us debunk some myths about a distance dietetic internship program. So Natalia, thanks for taking the time out to talk with me today. So can you just tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. So I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. Grew up here my whole life. I went to school. I have a bachelor's in biology from Pace University, and then I got a second bachelor's from Lehman College in the Bronx, and that was in dietetics.
Okay, awesome.
I'm currently a KBDI intern. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into the questions. So my first question for you is, how did you find out about KBDI?
Honestly, it was as simple as during the DICAS, um, uh, being on DICAS when I was applying to the different programs. I literally just looked down the list and picked out and then did a little bit of research, and like I picked out which ones I would want to apply to. And I was specifically looking for distance ones because when I applied,
Mhm.
um, they weren't doing the other ones. So basically it goes through fall and spring. So the season that I was applying in, the ones that were on site, how do you call them, non-distance
Mhm.
internships, they were not available. So I was very limited to maybe like 20, I'd say, options. So yeah.
Okay. And my second question for you is, why did you choose KBDI as your DI of choice?
Well, this is a funny story. I
Mm.
It was on a whim. So I had already applied to 6 different other ones.
Mhm.
And then what deterred me from applying, from finishing my application rather to KBDI, was the fact that they asked for a video submission um, for, to go along with the application. And I was like, I'm not doing a video. Like, this is already a lot of work because
Mhm.
DICAS is a lot of work. You need to do all your applications and the transcripts and the this and the that and um, the letter of intent and everything. And it's just a lot. So I was like, I don't want to do one more thing. But
Mhm.
then the day of when everything was due, I just woke up that morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this video. It's going to be like, I think it actually sounds fun. And you know what? I'll do it. And I did it. I recorded it. I did it like with my niece at my sister's house. I went over there. We shot it in like 3 hours. It took us. And then she edited it and then submitted it, like sent it to me. And I submitted it like in the nick of time. So that's my story.
Awesome. Okay, so my third question for you is, how does a distance program differ from a non-distance dietetic internship program?
Okay. So obviously I have not been to the other one, so I can only speak really from my own experience. But from what I know, the non-distance internships are almost always linked with a school, with a college or university or a hospital.
Mhm.
So they have a set schedule that you follow, and I don't think you're allowed to veer off that path. And they give you the rotations and the preceptors and the sites, and you can't, choose your own. So that's the biggest difference that I would say, that everything is set for you, laid out for you.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so another question I have for you is, what have you found most rewarding about the KBDI distance program, and what do you like about the distance program specifically?
Well, generally, what I like about the distance program is the freedom and independence that it affords me.
Hmm.
That I'm able to set my own schedule, quite literally. I'm able to choose and pick where I want to be. and which direction I want to go in and how I want to space it out for myself in terms of like my schedule and planning. So that's the biggest thing that I like about a distance internship.
Okay, great. Okay, so we want to kind of debunk some myths that people have had about distance programs. And you say that you really like them. So, number one that we found is you have to find your own preceptors with no help. So, Natalia, would you say this is a myth? And how did finding your own preceptors work out for you?
Um, so it's not 100% a myth. You do need to find your own preceptors,
Hmm.
but not to say that you don't have any help. So for example, Beryl, the director of the program, she personally sometimes, not all the time, but not to all preceptors, but reached out to them on my behalf if I had an interest in them, and
Hmm.
she would communicate with them via email or video call. She would do the affiliation agreements with them.
Hmm.
That's something that we did not have to do. And also in the beginning, we had a list of potential preceptors from all over the country, with email addresses and websites and phone numbers that we could contact and um, ask them to be our preceptors. Plus, also part of that list was the Kbdi board members, and I think all of them were available to be preceptors. So right there was already a list of, I think it's like 8 or 12 um, different board members that are RDs and that
Hmm.
were willing and able and did precept for us. So,
Okay, awesome.
and
Well, that's good you were able to find help with that.
also one more thing I wanted to add. Once one intern did a rotation with a preceptor, that preceptor was already like in the system, and it was that much easier for the next intern. So like the affiliation agreement was already in place, and all we had to do was say that we wanted to precept with that specific one, and it was easier. Someone has to pave the way at first, but yeah.
Right. Okay, awesome. Okay, so myth number two that we found, you don't get to connect with other interns, making the experience a lonely one. How often do you get to connect with the other interns?
Okay, I can say 100% this one is a myth. So I can't speak for every DI out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is DI, but in our case, so we are the first cohort, and it's a group of 10 girls, 6 of us in New York, New Jersey area, and then 4, 3 in California, 1 in Georgia, and we have a WhatsApp group, and we also have a group on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and we literally chat every single day, and I'm not kidding. um Talk about life, but obviously mostly about the program, about the program assignments. We support each other, we're there for each other, um through the failures and the triumphs, like really. So it does not feel, my experience has not been a lonely one at all, because of this amazing group of girls, amazing girls.
That's fantastic. Okay, so myth number three, the last myth. So you don't get the same experience as a non-distance program. Would you say, well, how would you say your experience has been thus far with a distance program?
Well, thus far,
Hmm.
I have a few months left, so I'm at the end of it basically. My experience has been pretty great. Again, I don't really have anything to compare it to besides what other people have said and what I've heard. But from what I have heard from other people, their directors are not nearly as involved as ours is. She is very kind and caring and considerate and thoughtful, and really on top of it, like super on top of everything. Um, she's patient, like she's really great. And so that would be my biggest takeaway from this program, our director, and the fact that I know that other directors are not as involved. And yes, I know it's a lot of work, and I mean, it should be work, but it's worth it in the end.
That's awesome. Okay, so another question I have for you is, what do you think makes KBDI stand out as a distance program?
Well, that one is easy. What attracted me to it and what attracted all the other girls in our class to it is the fact that it's a business entrepreneurship focused internship. And I literally have never seen that before. I thought it was super unique, one of a kind, and that's what attracted me to it. And the fact that we were also like the first class was, is cool.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's what makes KBDI different. The fact that it's business focused and we have business rotations as well. And some of our preceptors are in the industry, like food industry. So right away, we already have business contacts. And yeah, KBDI really sets you up for forming your own business and knowing what to do, the ins and outs of it, in terms of, you know, setting it up like LLC, like lawyer stuff, a bunch of other things, whether you want to be a product or a service. So setting your price. So a bunch of stuff they've taught us that I have never learned anywhere else ever. And I know the other girls have not either, because for this kind of for this to be learned, you would need to take like a business class or have a business coach. So
Right.
the fact that we got it all, for included in our internship, that was pretty amazing.
That really sounds amazing. Okay, so my last and final question for you is, what are some tips slash words of wisdom that you would give incoming interns?
Okay, so I would say one thing is to be organized,
Mhm.
to keep forms, like use folders in Google Drive, title them, know where things are. The other thing I would say is do things on time. Don't miss deadlines, don't hold off, don't wait until last second to do something. Do it with time to spare. The other thing I would say is reach out for help. If you have questions or if you're concerned about something, or if you're, this goes for everything. If you're running late to a meeting, if you know you won't be able to make a deadline, if you don't know the instructions, you don't understand the instructions to an assignment, if you're confused about something, reach out for help, ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And the last piece of advice I'd say is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you can do it. You got this far and you're more than capable of handling it and going through with it and persevering and just coming out with finishing with flying colors. So yeah,
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have today. Thank you so much, Natalia.
sure. Thank you.